An American farmer demonstrates his vehicle powered by a goat running on a treadmill. The goat-mobile could reach speeds of up to 9 mph. A spare goat rests on top. USA, 1900. Halloween, 1930s. Creepy children's costumes before the rise of mass culture. The holiday was genuinely eerie. An exam at a high school in the Chinese city of Wuhan, 2008. Women's wrestling, 1954. Watching television in a movie theater in the city of Carpi, Italy, 1956. The most offensive will. Australian Francis Lord bequeathed his fortune to friends, charities, and servants, mentioning his wife last. He left her 1 shilling so she could buy a tram ticket, go somewhere, and drown herself. Wreckage of the submarine Kursk, Barents Sea, 2000. The Taliban crush alcohol seized during the capture of Kabul with a tank. Afghanistan, 1996. Growth increasing exercise machine, 1931 photo. Grandma sees punks for the first time in her life. London, 1982. Louis and Lola, survivors of the Titanic. An experimental jet-powered scooter, 1931. This enthusiast was clearly way ahead of the era of jet fighters and rockets. Los Angeles police conducting a special operation to capture a criminal who killed an elderly woman for her wallet, 1960. Lavender Panthers, a radical militarized gay group that existed in San Francisco in 1973. The group aimed to defend LGBT rights with arms as the police were inactive, and attacks on gays and transvestites were rarely investigated. Geronimo, the military leader of the Chiricahua Apache, who led the fight against the U.S. invasion of his tribe's land for 25 years. In 1886, he was forced to surrender to the U.S. Army. This photo was taken at an air show in 2002 at the Snyliv airfield. Many of the people on the ground will not survive. This disaster broke records for the number of victims at an air show. German soldiers help a Frenchman stuck in the mud at Verdun. WWI, 1916. Replica dog tags of every soldier who never made it back from Vietnam. A small black girl in a so-called human zoo in Brussels, Belgium, 1958. A grim reminder of the colonialism and racism of that era. A photo of 2 NASA engineers inside a hangar the size of a 10-story building, where blocks with flaps guide the air around the aerodynamic tube at the Ames Research Center, 1960. Winston Churchill talks on the first portable radio, Fort Jackson, 1942. Nazi parade in 1937 at the Temple of Light. The structure consisted of 130 powerful searchlights pointing vertically upwards. Girls learning golf using a mechanical trainer, 1925. Simo Haiha, a Finnish sniper, one of the most effective snipers in world history. According to various estimates, he shot between 542 and 742 Soviet soldiers. On Christmas 1914, during World War I, German and British soldiers on the front line held an unscheduled truce. They sang Christmas carols, exchanged gifts sent from home, and played football. In the following years of the war, such truces could not be arranged again. A 13-year-old boy from the Hitler Youth, taken prisoner, 1945. A German pilot jumps from a burning plane. Parachutes did not exist at the time. World War I, 1915. Brazilian Gold Rush, 1980s. Edward Bloch, a Jewish doctor and personal physician to Adolf Hitler. He was under Hitler's personal protection, who called him a noble Jew. A century-old advertisement claimed that heroin kept your head always clear and fresh. Prohibition. Men pouring out whiskey, USA, 1931. A young white child touches the shield of a black police officer during a Ku Klux Klan rally in Gainesville, Georgia, 1992. The body of the last thylacine, Tasmanian tiger, on Earth and the farmer who killed it, 1930. Pearl Harbor, 1941. Manute Bol, the tallest player in NBA history. The basketball player's height was estimated at 7 feet 6.9 inches, 131 centimeters. Skeleton of a giant turtle, photo from 1902. A device for focusing on reading and writing invented by Hugo Gernsback provided deep noise isolation, supplied pure oxygen, and limited vision to a narrow slit for text, USA, 1925. Dice made of human bones found during a search of the home of Ed Gein, American serial killer, necrophile, and body snatcher. He is one of the most notorious serial killers in U.S. history. Happy New Year, 1907. Some of the survivors of Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571, which crashed in the mountains. The survivors had to resort to cannibalism to survive. The Tour de France bike race, 1930, French racer Jules Mervel refuels with a glass of red wine. Klaus Karl Schilling is hooded before his execution in 1946. He was sentenced to death for conducting horrific medical experiments on over 1,000 prisoners at the Dachau concentration camp. If today it's the Beatles, then what will tomorrow bring? Christian rally against the Beatles, California, 1966. The first ATM shown in San Francisco, 1966. Soviet and Polish troops liberate prisoners from the Sachsenhausen concentration camp, Germany, 1945. Bicycles designed for riding on railway tracks, Pellston, Michigan, 1910. The unloading of bodies after the ferry, Danya Pass, collided with an oil tanker in 1987, resulting in about 4,300 deaths, the largest peacetime maritime disaster. The cause of the tragedy was negligence from the crew. There was only one person on the bridge while the rest of the officers were resting, watching TV, and drinking beer. Life vests were locked up and no ship sent an SOS. A grandmother sees punks for the first time in her life. London, 1982. Vin Mariani, a popular 19th century drink called the favorite wine of celebrities such as Alexander Dumas, Conan Doyle, Robert Stevenson, Jules Verne, and even Queen Victoria. It contained cocaine and was banned in 1915. An unusual invention? A portable TV from 1967. Sad clown? Emmett Kelly tries to help extinguish the Hartford Circus fire. By the time the fire was out, 167 people had died. A German soldier next to a shell with the inscription, "I didn't want war," France, 1917. Frederick Patterson, first African-American car manufacturer. Vietnamese child and his father accused of aiding North Vietnamese partisans, 1966. Their fate remains unknown. Over time, donuts changed. Freddie Overstegen, a Dutch girl and killer of dozens of Nazis, along with her friend and sister as part of the resistance, lured men into the woods where they got a bullet in the head. Japanese soldiers mock Chinese prisoners during the Nanjing Massacre, 1938. A license for prostitution, United Kingdom, 1876. Jail cell where Salem witches were kept, Sikhsharya, 1692. Previously, anyone could relieve themselves right on the city streets. A public urinal in Paris, 1875. Sale of dinosaur footprints extracted from limestone in the Paluxy Riverbed, Texas, 1954. Little oyster gatherers from South Carolina, Josie, 6 years old, Berta, 6 years old, and Sophie, 10 years old, 1912. Before aerial photography was invented, photography was done by all possible means, 1952. Human hair in the German concentration camp Auschwitz, 1944. A little girl sees her father, a German soldier returning home after World War II, for the first time. A man is walking to deliver a package, unaware of the magnitude of the tragedy. New York, September 11, 2001. The last execution by guillotine did not take place in the Middle Ages, as many tend to think, but after the release of the first Star Wars film on September 10, 1977. German soldiers lead Polish girls to execution, 1941. A hang glider made from a bed sheet, parquet flooring, and other materials, used to escape from a British prison, 1945. The crew of the Pueblo returns to the U.S. after 11 months of captivity in North Korea, 1968. The first state of Levi's Company, founded by Levi Strauss, 1853. During Prohibition in the U.S., it was illegal to produce, sell, or transport alcohol. As a result, winemakers resorted to tricks to survive in the new environment. For example, they started selling grape concentrates in bricks, labeling them with warnings. After dissolving the contents in a gallon of water, do not store the liquid in a closed cupboard, as after 20 days, it will turn into wine. A Japanese brothel, 1890. When the pious Portuguese Christians discovered Japan in the 16th century, they lost their minds over the caresses of the geishas, and in exchange, gifted them syphilis. Kate Camberley rescued over 600 animals since 1943. She turned her home into a dog shelter and fought officials to protect her animals. A woman's wild reaction to Mardi Gras participants in New Orleans, 1980s. A Tibetan man greets a photographer in 1955. This gesture was traditional proof that they weren't reincarnated demons, because according to folklore, demons have green tongues. 3 children on their way to school during severe dust storms, Oklahoma, USA, 1933. Allied and Soviet soldiers parody Hitler on the famous Reich Chancellery balcony, Berlin, 1945. The ship Queen Elizabeth arrives at the New York harbor. On board are soldiers returning from World War II, 1945. During World War II, the Soviet Army trained suicide dogs intended to destroy enemy tanks. Hungry dogs were trained to find food under mock tanks. In combat, the dogs were strapped with explosives and sent under approaching tanks, where they were supposed to die. A hungry boy standing for hours in an endless line for rice, China, 1948. General Douglas MacArthur accepts Japan's surrender aboard the USS Missouri. Tokyo Bay, September 2nd, 1945. John Snow, an English doctor from the 19th century who single-handedly uncovered the causes of the cholera epidemic, but other doctors did not believe in his theories. Children take cover in an underground shelter to escape the explosions. Spain, 1938. 18-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger with his classmate, 1965. 4-year-old Barack Obama with his grandfather on the beach. An unofficial photo of Joseph Stalin when he learned of the German invasion. An Iraqi POW comforts his 4-year-old son in the yard of a dusty prison in Iraq, 2003. The longest recorded work career, Japanese man Shigesio Izumi, worked 98 years on a beet plantation, retiring at 105. Benedict XVI, the 265th Pope, who became a member of the Hitler Youth in 1941 and served in an SS anti-aircraft battalion during World War II. Thylacine, the last Tasmanian tiger, 1910s. Female prison guard with her inmates, New Orleans, 1963. A seller of intimate wigs, New York, 1860. Prostitutes would remove hair from intimate areas to avoid pubic lice. Accessories like these helped them hide venereal diseases from clients. The first pubic wigs appeared for sale in the 1450s. The pear of anguish was invented in the 16th century and used to punish women for adultery and abortions. It was inserted into the intimate area and the screw was turned, causing infernal torment. Blacksmith Patrick O'Neill without one arm and his special working prosthesis, England, 1929. Special license plates for habitual offenders with distinctive badges greatly simplified police work, USA, 1939. During the casting for the lead role in the horror film The Shadow of the Cat, 1961. Black children at the fence of a whites-only playground, Alabama, 1956. She was 11 when WWI began, 36 when WWBI began, 74 when Star Wars was released, and 116 when COVID-19 began. Her name is Kane Tanaka, and she was the oldest living person on Earth. She lived until 2022. Zulu King Cetshwayo aboard the ship that brought him to Cape Town after the defeat of the Zulus, 1879. Whether you felt happy, annoyed, or just entertained, drop a comment and tell me why. Keep an eye out for the sequel. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See ya.